In case you aren't aware, Mega Man is one of my favorite franchises. In fact, most of my channel is focused on Mega Man stuff. All Mega Man games, and video games in general, go through a bunch of development and publishing. Without these things, we wouldn't have any games releasing nowadays. Speaking of which, there are some games that have so much hard work and care put into them that just end up getting scrapped in the end. The same can be applied to Mega Man games, as there is a ton of scrap Mega Man content, mostly in the 2010s after Mega Man 10 release. Since there's so many cases of cancelled Mega Man games I could talk about, I'm handpicking 5 games to talk about in this video that piqued my interest the most. So without further ado, let's get this train started. To kick things off, we have the 4th installment in the Mega Man Star Force franchise. In case you don't know what Mega Man Star Force is, it was a series in the Mega Man franchise for the DS that was very similar to Bound, a sort of RPG where, with many chips you can install to upgrade Mega Man's skill. This series was pretty popular among the Compound Network series, but back when this sub-series was released, it didn't do so well financially. This sub-series is by far the least selling sub-series in the entire Mega Man franchise. That's also probably the reason why it was the last series to ever grace a Mega Man franchise, aside from you, but I really wish you were here right now. Anyway, because of poor and disappointing sales of Mega Man Star Force 2 and 3, Mega Man Star Force ended up being cancelled while being in production in 2010. But what was the other part of Mega Man Star Force 4? Well, originally, this game was going to have a much darker and edgier plot than the other 3 Mega Man Star Force games that came before it. Steelar and Kazuma were the 2 main characters in this game. It was going to focus on both of them being outlaws. There isn't really much more known about this plot, but we could assume that it was a different take on what the first Star Force games were. In my opinion, this game sounds like it could have been super cool. There was a ton of potential for Mega Man Star Force 4, and I'm super curious what it would have been like to have a bit of a darker plot than the other Star Force games. It's such a shame that the Star Force series didn't sell well and this game was cancelled. I would really want to see a Mega Man Star Force collection like they did with the Bound collection. That would be very cool. But overall, Mega Man Star Force 4 was a game with a bunch of potential that was sadly scrapped because of the poor sales of the Star Force series, which really just breaks my heart. It's really sad. This next game is Mega Man Anniversary Collection for the Game Boy Advance, also known as Mega Man Mania for the Game Boy Advance, as some other people call it. It featured remakes of all 5 of the Game Boy Mega Man games in full color. Nowadays, you can experience these games in color with fan-made DX hacks of the Mega Man Game Boy games. But imagine how cool it would have been to experience these games in full color back in the 2000s. Now, this game was cancelled due to a ton of delays. A bunch of procrastinating was made from Capcom, even though this was a super simple game to make. All you had to do was add color to 5 pre-existing games. The only thing you really needed to code was game select against Capcom. Was it really that difficult? Anyway, this could have been a cool way to play the Mega Man World games. It's a huge shame. I'm sure Capcom was working with a bunch of other games at the time, but it's literally just colored remasters of Game Boy games you've already released, Capcom. Why did you take this away from us? But aside from the ranting, maybe it's a good thing this game never got released, because I've heard bad things about Mega Man Anniversary Collection on GameCube. But who knows, maybe this game would have actually been like that game, and could have been an incredible remake of the Mega Man World series without any of the annoying rules. Overall though, this may not be the saddest case on this list, but I sure wish we had definitive DX versions of this game. Speaking of which, those actually exist. As I mentioned before, there's these really cool DX hacks of the first 5 Mega Man World games aims to give the true Mega Man Game Boy experience. It's super cool, and if you haven't already, you should check it out because it's a super cool fan-made ROM hack. But with all that said, and a shout out to the DX ROM hacks of the Mega Man World games, let's move back to the DS. Mega Man, otherwise known as Mega Man ZXC during development, was supposed to be a sequel to Mega Man ZX Advent, and overall the third Mega Man ZX game that would finally wrap up the entire story of the Zero Saga, and would have ended the ZX trilogy with a nice little bow. However, ZX3 never ended up happening, and thus we may never know what the ending of the ZX series for eternity. There's a Sarah game coming up on this list, but you probably know what that is already. Okay, I'll stop foreshadowing. Moving on from that ramble, the reason why this game was cancelled is the same reason as Mega Man Star Force 4. It's 2010. Regular people just weren't that interested in buying new Mega Man games anymore. Sure, Mega Man ZX Advent sold pretty well, but other games like Star Force 2 and Star Force 3 didn't really sell that well, as I mentioned. But with the very weird and confusing fanfiction-y writing of Mega Man ZX Advent, I doubt that this game would have been that well of a developed ending. Still, any ending to the entire Zero series would be great. Ending to the ZX series. Maybe it would have even teased Mega Man Legends, as that series takes place thousands of years after this one. But oh well, I guess us Mega Man fans can't have nice things from Capcom who hate the series for some reason. At least we can wonder about what Mega Man ZX3 would have been the finale to the unfinished series could have been. Even though ZX Advent had bad writing and fanfiction-y writing, I would really want to see what Mega Man ZX3 could have been about. Now, let's move on to one of the first and most tragic cancelled Mega Man games I ever came across. Mega Man Powered Up was a remake of Mega Man 1 released in 2006 for the PlayStation Portable. This game, Mega Man Universe, was announced in 2010, and you could probably see where this is going already. But I still want to talk about it because this is the most interesting game in the batch. The trailer for this game was rather interesting as well. It showed a claymation Mega Man fighting Tellies, and a red Mega Man, and even Ryu from Street Fighter series appears in this teaser as well. There's even a cameo of Bad Box Art Mega Man. Do I really need to say anything else? Anyway, people were extremely hyped for this game, as it would not only be a remake of Mega Man 2, but it was also going to have a custom level editor where you could make your own stages and share them online with other players. Nowadays, you can just play Mega Man Maker to make your own stages, but back then, a fan game like that didn't exist. Technically, in Mega Man Powered Up, there was a level design tool, but that was very lackluster, and obviously there weren't a lot of tools because of how little stock there was in the original Mega Man game. But there wasn't really a lot of new stuff they added either. But this level designer looks like it would have been revolutionary and probably could have been the new Mario Maker back in 2010. However, as you probably know, this game with a ton of potential could have become a popular and supportive Mega Man game, but it sadly suffered the fate of being cancelled because of overambition and mismanagement at Capcom when developing this game. On March of 2011, this game would be cancelled, and yet another great Mega Man game would slide away from us. Even though this game's cancellation was disappointing and tragic, at least we have Mega Man Maker nowadays. I've played this game since 2022, and the community is still flowing and making awesome levels in this game. Imagine how cool it would have been for Mega Man Universe to have this much of a thriving community. But oh well, I guess we can only assume what this game could have ended up being. Mega Man ZX isn't the only Mega Man series to never get an ending. At the end of Mega Man Legends 2, spoiler warning, skip to this time frame if you don't want spoilers for Mega Man Legends 2. Mega Man Volna is stuck on the moon after defeating Sarah, so Roll and Tron Bonne try to find a rocket to save him, but as we all know, that never actually ends up happening. However, Mega Man Legends 3 was going to center its entire plot around Tron Bonne and Roll flying up to the moon to save Mega Man and bring him back to their home planet. Captain Bus did a live stream series where he played the Mega Man Legends series, so you should definitely check it out. Link to his channel in the description. But anyway, the ending of Legends 2 was very abrupt because it was supposed to be part 1 to the story, with Mega Man Legends 3 being part 2 to Mega Man Legends 2. But you know what happened? Take a guess. If you guessed that this game was cancelled because of the decline of popularity of the Mega Man series in the 2010s after Mega Man 10 released, then you would be correct. There were a bunch of other reasons too, but predictably the decline of popularity of the series was one of the main key factors of why this game was cancelled. It's such a shame because if they maybe gave this game a bit of a chance, it could have probably been done really well. There's a huge fan base for the Mega Man Legends series, and especially in the early 2010s, the fan base for Mega Man Legends was massive. People demanded Capcom to resume development on Mega Man Legends 3 after it was cancelled in 2011. Nowadays though, there isn't really that big of a chance for Mega Man Legends to get revived. It's a massive shame because canonically, this game was the last in the Mega Man timeline, so that means that for many years, or even forever, the entire Mega Man timeline will never be resolved with a climax. Mega Man Legends will probably never get an official ending, and Capcom sucks, but at least we got a 3D Mega Man game that isn't Ratchet & Clank back on the PS1 days, and it was great. Although, Mega Man Legends, in my opinion, is still by far the saddest case on this list. But in conclusion, it's just a normal thing for games to get cancelled, so I appreciate the games that end up getting finished. Sometimes I'm happy when games get cancelled, but other times, like the 5 cases on this list, it's extremely sad when games get cancelled. A bunch of these series in the Mega Man franchise may have never gotten endings, but who knows, maybe in the future, Capcom will get off their lazy back and actually cook a mind-blowing finale to Mega Man ZX and Mega Man Legends. But maybe sometimes games just have to end up like this. So thank you very much for joining me on this bountiful journey of cancelled Mega Man games. Check out these videos right here. Also, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you sometime in the next video.